And welcome inside the Backstage Pass of Friday. Hard to believe another week here, and welcome in the calendar flipped over to December. Doesn't wait for anybody as we keep putting all these great shows together presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. The holiday cheer is upon us too as well, and cheers to everybody out there for whiskey drinkers. Drink Bangtail, bangtail.com or easyliquor.com out there too. Total Wine and Specs, wherever you shop, and of course out there at bangtail.com and in Nashville at Live Oak out there if you're in that area. Thanks to our friends at Honky Tonk Texas, honkytonktexas.us. Check them out there for the latest shows, and the food out there too is really good out there at Honky Tonk Texas. If you love steak night like I do out there too, we're out there too at KKTC 99.9 True Country in Taos, New Mexico, and Pueblo, Colorado, and of course streaming at HighTideCountry.net. Well, I tell you what, I want to spread a little holiday cheer and to welcome in one of my new favorite artists out there, Will Wesley, to the show. Will, how you doing?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you. It's good to see everybody. How's everyone doing?
It's good to see you, brother. Like I said, and I love this new single, and I'm going to get right to it, too, because we all love the Brenda Lee Holiday Classic. We turn on the radio, and she'd be right there just singing her heart out and pouring it all out there, too. Featured in a lot of movies. You took a song that was very much renowned, world-renowned, well-known. Put your own spin on it. Tell us about this Christmas classic and the Will Wesley version.
Well, just like you said, man, the Brenda Lee Classic, everybody's heard it and everyone knows it. And, everyone was telling me it could be a bit intimidating tackling such a great vocalist and tackling such a great classic song. But what I really wanted to do was put my own spin on the classic. I wanted people, when they heard it, to be like, oh, I know the song, but that's Will Wesley's version. And that was our goal here. And I think we accomplished it pretty well. I hope everybody enjoys it.
Now, this is going to, or has gone to, radios, the current single, too, out there, too, through the holiday season. How exciting was it to work with your team and say, you know what, we're going to take this one to radio, and then we'll see how it does?
I got a great team behind me, and everybody really put in the effort to get this thing out there and put it out there in the world. It's been a very exciting time seeing all the radio stations and all the people being so happy about the tune. And, I just cannot be more excited right now. It really puts me in the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, and I see behind you, too, you're like me. Put up the tree just a couple of nights ago, and it's definitely, as hard as it is and the rough times I'm going through now, definitely got to get back in that Christmas spirit, too. And I tell you what, I got a chance to check out a lot of your music, too, over that, not just the current single, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, which you're going to play for us today here on the show. But go back to the album and kind of highlight some things there, too. One of the things about music is all musicians want to get out there and get better when it comes to working on their craft and putting out albums. I feel like you guys kind of hit the nail on the head with both sides of the tracks and a lot of the great songs on there too. Let It All Burn. And one of my favorites I got to hear was Paint This Country. Talk about just the body of work there and getting out some great songs into your country music fans into their hands.
Both sides of the tracks was a very interesting project because when we started it, it was right in the middle of the pandemic. So we were having to learn ways on how to promote without live performance, And we started coming into the both sides of the track sessions with understanding that this is going to be, something we're going to perform live later down the road. And it's all about the current promotion that we can put behind it and getting it in the ears and eyes of people during a pandemic. It's really kind of what started me on the notion that, bringing the fans along with us. I kind of watched them come along for the journey of the making of the record. And it was really a rewarding experience in the sense of watching the fans cheer up a little bit while making this album. It was an ambitious project as well. It's a double disc album. And I really wanted to tackle the more modern sounds of country, the more modern rock and country sounds that I have, but also the classic and going back to the more classic sounds that I grew up on. And to see these songs played on the radio worldwide was really a dream come true. And to see the reaction from the fans, it was just a special thing, man.
Break it down for us, if you will, a little bit with Paint This Country, kind of the idea behind it, the songwriting. I thought it was just one of those good old country songs that you listen to and reminded me a little bit of that 90s country sound.
Well, 90s country is a big influence on me. I love a lot of the artists from the time. And Paint This County was really a song that was just a really good feel-good party kind of anthem kind of tune. It's really, when I sat down to write it, I really wanted to write a song that everybody could relate to, the working class can relate to especially, and something that people can really just let their hair down and have a good time to. The goal with the song was just to have a good party anthem that everybody can just blare up, crank up, and let's rock out a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt, and it does that, and I stand corrected. I'm glad you corrected me. I paint this county, not paint this country. But I tell you what, you know what? Hey, paint this country, maybe a good song, Will, if you guys put it in the Rolodex and
That
come
might be
back.
my next single. You may have inspired me to write my next single. You know, it is election time.
It is, no doubt. Well, paint this country, no doubt, too. Paint this county is the name of the tune off both sides of the tracks. Talk about Let It All Burn and kind of a little backstory of that one.
You know, oftentimes in country music, we write songs about drinking, partying. And one of the special things about both sides of the tracks in my upcoming record, Ready to Ride, is I try to be honest with my listeners. You know, I always looked at it like the songs that I write are really just a testimony of the place I'm at in my life when I write them. And Let It All Burn, I'd come through a pretty strong relationship ending. And, you know, I'd kind of taken to, at the time of my life, you know, being tired of the parties and the drinking and the wanting to really get my life together, you know, and try to live for a better purpose. Try to use my music as something that not only is therapeutic to me, but therapeutic to everyone around me. You know, if I've helped anybody when they listen to a Will Wesley song, that's my goal, you know, and that's what Let It All Burn is about. Just letting it all go. The things that are tearing you down, the things that are breaking you down, the addictions you may have, any of this stuff. You know, I don't want to get too spiritual, but, you know, your faith in God and letting yourself use that to make you more than what you ever thought you can be. And that's really the message behind Let It All Burn, is that no matter what you're going through and no matter what you're feeling, you can always burn it out and start fresh. And that's what the goal of that song was.
Yeah, one that hits close to home and one that I'm sure a lot of people can really resonate with through the trials and tribulations of this life that we're part of right now, too. Again, check it out. Rocking Around the Christmas Tree was premiered by our friends over at Center Stage Magazine. Tommy and the whole group do a great job over there. Got to meet them in Nashville over the past couple of years at the Country Radio Seminar. So say hi to them out there, too. I'm glad they premiered the single. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a timeout real quick, pay some bills here on the show. Come back more with Will Wesley and a performance of that very song, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, which is actually in the background of him right now. He'll be rocking around it coming back here on the show. KKTC 99.9 True Country is where you can hear us every night, 10 Mountain Time out there too. The LMNOC streaming app too as well. And, of course, out there at hightidecountry.net. And we're powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. We'll talk a little sports with Will and the rapid fire segment coming up here in just a little bit. We'll see if we get any audience comments here in a little bit and a whole lot more. Presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and, of course, Honky Tonk Texas, coming right back.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And again, you can check us out every night, 10 Mountain Time, 5 days a week out there. KKTC 99.9 True Country. Hear all the great hits of today, from yesterday, the 90s country we were talking about there too, and a whole lot more there too on a great station in Taos, New Mexico. Ski Town out there. You got to love skiing. It's that time of year out there for December and January for all the skiers. And, of course, out there too, hightidecountry.net and the sportsguys.podcast.com, where all the shows are archived out there. Thanks to our friends at Honky Tonk Texas and Bangtail Whiskey. Well, it's all yours. Back here with Will Wesley on the Backstage Pass, rocking around the Christmas tree. My friend, take it away.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe on where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas spirit ring. Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and do some caroling. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, rocking around Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in a new old-fashioned way. Hey! You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, rocking around the Christmas tree. Have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in a new old-fashioned way. Everyone dancing merrily in a new old-fashioned way. All right.
I get you the Christmas spirit right there too. Rocking around the Christmas tree, Will Wesley version there, and of course the remake of that old Brenda Lee classic, which we hear every day. Now you get to hear Will's version out there, KKTC 99.9 True Country in Taos, New Mexico, and up to Colorado, and of course out there powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com and out there at HighTideCountry.net too. I love the version, and I know it's going to do very well at radio. There was a song I wanted to ask you about off that both sides of the tracks, and it was Shadows of Your Heart. Let's dive into this one a little bit.
Shadows of Your Heart. It's very interesting that you should talk to me about that song, because that's actually one of my favorite stories of the album written. Mm-hmm. It's a song about, being in a relationship where you can never really fully be yourself, where you feel like you're always, the real you is always overshadowed by what you're wanted to be. And the shadows of your heart is the realization that realizing you can't always, in the case of love, be what someone wants you to be. You have to be yourself, and either someone loves you for who you are or they don't, and the very lyrics, I can't live in the shadows of your heart, is kind of embodying to that point, is that in the end, we are who we are, and people who truly love us for that. We don't have to be actors. We don't have to try to fit into what they want us to be. You just are who you are. And that's really the essence of true love, I would suppose.
I would actually wholeheartedly agree with you on that too. I love the collaborations in the industry, and you've gotten to do a few yourself too with on that particular record for both sides of the tracks. One of my favorite ladies out there making her mark in country music, Hannah Bell. Yes. One's called Cold on Steel. I got to check that one out too. And of course, Mary's Last Run. Talk about how, I guess, the ideas behind coming up with great songs, the writing of those, and then collaborating with Hannah on behalf of putting her vocals to great tunes.
Yes. Well, Hannah Bell, I've always been a fan of as well. We live in basically the same town. Not exactly, but we live in the same state. We're very close to each other. And I'd heard of her music through a director that I worked with by the name of J.B. Lawrence. We both had our music videos made by the same person. And when I started listening to her music, I became a big fan of Hannah Bell. I thought that she was an authentic country singer, and the way she delivers is very good. And I'd had some songs that I had written for a female vocalist, and I wanted to do a collaboration. And when I heard some of her music, I immediately realized that she would be perfect for these collaborations. And when I met with her, I let her hear the song, and she's like, wow, these are some deeper topics than I was expecting you to come with. And I was like, well, this album's going to be different. Mm-hmm. Her delivery vocally and her fire and her personality really brought out these songs, and it was just a very natural experience. The producer Phil Chandler was there, and we just went in the studio and recorded it very naturally, and she delivered very quickly, and I was very happy with the product.
Yeah, of course, I tell you, Will, she's got some fantastic music out. She actually just dropped a new album called Anybody But Me. In October, I got a chance to review that one. There's a song called Wichita on it I love very much, and people want to check out a great artist you got to collaborate with. We got to get her back here on the show, so you just reminded me to do something here on the show.
Well, I'll give her a call and tell her you need to get with the boys. It's time to get on the radio.
Get back on the radio with us here now that we're syndicated out there in New Mexico and Colorado. We got to get this lady back because it's been a while. She sent me one of the years in Nashville I was there doing the CRS event. She sent me a T-shirt, or I got a T-shirt, and Hannah Bell was on it, and I went, wait a minute, and we just don't forget about you. We just get a lot of inquiries here on the show, and it's like we just move on to the next interview, the next show, and continue to put out great stars and great music like yourself too. But anybody wants to check out that album for Hannah, it's across digital platforms too. We'll take a time out too. Hey, you want to play one more for us?
Why not? I'm always
All
down
right.
for one
All
more
right. I
song.
like that too. We're gonna come back and talk about a single that everybody's at one point in their life been there, done that, called "Wasted Again" with Will Wesley here on the Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. A timeout for our friends at Honky Tonk Texas.us and our friends at Bangtail Whiskey. It's the holidays. Drink responsibly and do it with the official whiskey of the Backstage Pass. Bangtail Whiskey, bangtail.com, easyliquor.com, or Total Wine and Specs out there across all the great stores. And pick up some great stuff there. Food trays, meat trays, cheese trays. It goes well with everything out there too. And Bangtail Whiskey, bangtail.com. Get the order in and shipped right to your door. Quick timeout. More with Will Wesley. Here it is, the Backstage Pass. Stay tuned. Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
And, of course, some great shows coming up over the next few weeks until about December 21st or so. We'll go until there and take about a 2-week break for Christmas and all the good stuff, spend time with the family. And, of course, Ray Scott and a whole lot more coming up. Ashley Ray and some great stars coming up over the next few weeks here on the Backstage Pass. Back at it Monday, a new group called Neon Union coming on the show here, too. You may have heard of them doing some great things out there, too. Great sound, too, for a dynamic duo that those guys are, and a whole lot more. Back here with Will Wesley on the Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. We'll talk sports here in a little bit with Will in our rapid fire segment. He's got one more for us, and we got to talk about that single called "Wasted Again," which we've all been there at one point.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you what, is that the one, or is there going to be another one, or some new stuff? What do you want to play?
You know what? I think "Wasted Again" is a good choice. You know,
All
we got
right.
a new record coming out, but I'll release that stuff when we get more into that interview.
All right, we'll do that. It's all yours, my friend. Take it away.
Wasted again. Her memories have come around and reminding me of things I tried to forget. Someday I'll try to not think of what might have been, but tonight I'm throwing them back. Wasted again. Wasted again. I got troubles upon my mind, and no matter how I try, they never end. Someday I'll try to get back on my feet again, but tonight I'm throwing them back. Wasted again. All right. Wasted again. Well, I'm drinking my blues away. Wasted again. Save my troubles for another day. Tomorrow I'll try to get back on my feet again, but tonight I'm throwing them back. Wasted again. Wasted again. We're drinking our blues away. Wasted again. Save our troubles for another day. try to get back on our feet again. But tonight I'm throwing them back. Yeah, tonight we're throwing them all the way back. Tonight we're throwing them back. Wasted again. Wasted again.
Will Wesley back here on the show, the Backstage Pass. Again, check us out, 10 Mountain Time, 5 days a week. KKTC 99.9, True Country in Ski Town, Taos, New Mexico, and up through Colorado, the I-25 corridor. Wasted Again, single they put out back in January of this year. So this one seemed like it came easy with the story behind this one, right?
Well, it's a lot of hard-learned, true life experiences, my friend. But, you know, one of the people I'd like to talk about on this song is my duet partner, Mr. Florian Fox. He lives in Switzerland. He's a fantastic country artist out in that area. And, you know, I think that we're good collaborators on that particular song. And I called him up after I wrote it, and I was like, well, I think I wrote not the ultimate drinking song, but I wrote something within the vicinity. And he said, well, I'm going to have to hear that to test it out. He heard it, and he said, well, I've got to sing on this song, and the rest was magic. So it's been a very fun and rewarding experience recording with Florian. And I'm glad that the single's actually been the best of our career so far, but we're looking to top that on the next record.
I'll tell you what, hey, looking at that too, kind of leads me to the next question there too. 2024, I mean, just weeks away now. Welcoming in another year, hard to believe. Time just continues to fly, no doubt. Exciting times for you and the record. Is there kind of drop dates? What can we expect in 2024 in the Will Wesley camp?
Well, we don't have any drop dates yet, but it is moving along very well. And we've got a lot of the singles are already recorded. We're getting into the final stages of making the record. And it's I'm very excited about this one. It's going to be called Ready to Ride, and it's going to be a combination of some good party anthems, but also some of the most intimate work I've ever written. Some topics I'm going to be tackling from, you know, how I feel about country music, also about, you know, the passing of my own brother and how I've had to deal with that and how I've had to carry on, not only as a man, but as the grief that comes with losing someone that you love so much. There's a lot of topics on this record that I think a lot of the people out there can relate to. And that's my job, is relatability.
Well, that's the story of country music too. I was going to ask you about, I love these shows that are doing more and more of this today, having these newer artists kind of come out and really make songs relatable, and they're getting a chance to showcase their artistry, such as like American Idol and really The Voice. I think Reba's done a great job with her coaching on there too, with all these great artists. They're down to the top 12 now, and just getting there and watching them go through this process to shape younger artists. I mean, all those judges are giving back and doing something to help out the music industry. Give me some thoughts on those type of shows and what you like about those. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, look, I'm a big fan of all the.
There it goes.
Yes.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, man. I'm a big fan of The Voice. I'm a big fan of American Idol. I've always been. I love to watch the stories of these artists and how they develop right in front of your very eyes. You know, and I think that they're doing a wonderful job with how they develop the artists there. I mean, they have some powerhouse singers. They have some powerhouse talent there. You know, so they'll definitely have me tuning in as long as they'll be on.
Hey, if you don't tune in for anything else, Miss Reba's pretty damn good coach. She's been doing it a long time, and
I think she knows what she's doing.
just a little bit for the Queen, Reba McEntire, who has that little wave that she does with her hand there. She had her scepter and her crown. That was pretty cool to see a few episodes back that, you know, she's serious about winning this thing, taking it away from Team Nile. All right, let's get into a little rapid fire. Of course, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, the latest single going to radio for Will's camp, and looking forward to that. And it doing very well out there too. Just heard it here on the Backstage Pass. Sports, Will, do you get into it? Do you follow some teams? Who do you like?
I'm a big college football fan, football fan, but I don't know if you're going to like what I'm going to say. I'm an LSU man. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, so I got to go with Jaden Daniels for the Heisman. That's what I got to say. What are you thinking? Is it Bo Nix? What are you thinking?
You know, hey, Bo Nix, a great choice. I tell you what, man. I tell you, Bo's had a great year. A lot of this depends on championship weekend, too. I think a lot of those factors come into it.
Can they beat Washington is the question, you know.
I'll tell you what, you know, LSU had just played my school or my wife's school. I try to root for 2 or 3 teams. My brother loves LSU. I love Texas A&M. Of course, we just got through a head coaching change there. Mike Elko coming on from Duke. Jimbo's out, and they're doing the best they can with the talent they have. Should have done a lot better, no doubt, with the contract they gave him too. But nonetheless, I think it's a great time to be a college football fan in many aspects to it. The transfer portal, I'm not a huge fan of that, but it's changed the landscape of the game, no doubt. And if you look back and you look at still the strongest conference, the SEC, and next year getting Texas, and Oklahoma. Wow.
As an LSU fan, it makes me a little nervous because, the quality of the schools that are wanting to join the SEC due to the power of it is staggering. And it's going to become a much tougher but exciting to watch schedule. Like you said, Oklahoma joining. Wow. And Texas A&M, I've always been a bit of a fan of them too because, Jimbo Fisher once coached at LSU.
True. Yeah.
So, it's I hated to see Jimbo go, but I also know that you're only as good as your record, so to speak. I'm looking forward to see what the new era is going to bring in for you guys.
Last time they had that great season was when Elko was a DC there, and it was 9-1. They went to the Orange Bowl, and it was the last really winning season was 2020, and I still couldn't believe that was Elko departed. Great job at Duke. Good to have him back, and people are saying it's a sensational hire so far for the Aggies kind of moving forward too. We'll see if the other coaches kind of move around. The carousel keeps going. I know Jeff Lebby just got hired at Mississippi State. He was Oklahoma's offensive coordinator, so it's that time of year. I'll tell you what, for Texas, the team on my cap wheel is not doing too good. That being the Arizona Cardinals, but that's my number one team. But I'll say this number two team is that I root for down here. You probably heard of them, called the Dallas Cowboys. You probably heard of those guys.
Yeah. I've been keeping up with the Cowboys since the Aikman Emmett years.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a fan since Jimmy Johnson and Barry Switzer and all those great 90s teams that they had there, Michael Irvin and Aikman Emmett, of course, Troy and everybody out there too, Novacek and all those great guys.
Didn't Deion Sanders once play for the Cowboys?
He did. Deion was, I want to say, the member of the last or next to last Super Bowl team there in 94, 95 when they beat Cardinals in Tempe too back in 95. So it's been a lot. But I will say the play they've had this year, the Eagles are slamming it all over the place. A great record at 10-1. But Dallas creeping up on Dak is having a fantastic season, Will.
Look, man, I'm a Dak Prescott fan. Even when I remember, I don't know if it was 14 or 15, but he came into Tiger Stadium and gave us a shellacking. I remember it very well. I remember being very upset with him at the time, but saying, hey, I think they may have pro material quarterback, and it's proven to be true. Dak's great, man. Y'all are going to get a Super Bowl in Dallas before it's all over. It's just I hope that the Saints can pull just one more in, but I don't even want to talk about the state of the Saints right now.
Well, I expected more from Dennis Allen taking over for the great Sean Payton, and of course
Derek Carr.
I wanted more from Derek. I kind of expected more for getting a nice payday.
At this point, I'm always willing to believe, but if things keep going this way, I think we're going to have to say we got a used car for sale.
That one right there. Great segue too. All right. I know the holiday season's coming up. Give me some Christmas traditions. What do you like to do? I mean, obviously spend time with family, but what are some Will Wesley Christmas traditions?
First of all, like you said, I spend so much time on the road, man, that it's family is always the number one. Being to come home and spend time with my folks and my wife and to be able to take time to, see my family and just have some time off from the road is always the ultimate Christmas gift for me. But also I grew up a bit what I would call rugged country. My family, my mother and father still heat their house with a fireplace. So every year I end up cutting their wood. No matter where I'm at, I end up still splitting their firewood with an axe. And I love coming home and cooking and smoking a turkey for my family and things like that. It's just something I look forward to. It's the time of year where I can be myself instead of always being on the road, and always I could just go home, relax, be myself and entertain the family and just be there. And that's my ultimate Christmas gift every year.
Got to give it to yourself and give back to yourself, and also take care of yourself and take care of your family. God would want nothing less. He wants you to do that. No doubt about it too. And we work so hard, 365 days out of the year, that we deserve that 2 or 3, 4 day break. Some of us get a little bit longer, but it's good to sit back and just enjoy the times with family too. Well, I tell you what, hey, congratulations on all the success, rocking around the Christmas tree, the current single at radio, again, premiered by Center Stage Magazine. Man, I appreciate everything you do for country music. God bless you moving forward. Thanks so much for being with us. And I cannot wait to connect again next year for the new album and Ready to Ride coming out there. No drop date yet, but be on the lookout for that. And hey, man, continued success going forward. Thanks for being with us.
Well, man, thanks for having me, and God bless you and the team as well. And look, to the fans out there, everybody, thank you for your support and thank you for following along. We got a big year coming and you're a part of it. So thank you, everybody.
You got it. Will Wesley here on the show, rocking around the Christmas tree. Of course, we're out there at KKTC 99.9, True Country in Ski Town in Taos, New Mexico, and Pueblo, Colorado, up that I-25 corridor. Catch us at 10 Mountain Time weeknights. And, of course, out there, hightidecountry.net and powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. And, of course, we'll be back next week with a lot of great shows there. Neon Union, Ray Scott, Ashley Ray, and a whole lot more. Also, Mike Meyerson coming by from the great group you might remember, Heartland. They had a big hit back in the day, too. Mike will come join us here in a few weeks for an episode here on the Backstage Pass. Until then, take care. Have a great night and happy holidays to everybody out there. We'll see you soon. Take care.